Dear future me, hello. So today I want to talk about my recent affinity towards video essays. It's really interesting. I've been recently breaking out of my kind of routine of watching the traditional productivity content, so like the Ali Abdal's Diary of a CEO, stuff like that. I had been kind of on this routine or pattern of watching those kinds of videos for the past few months, or possibly even a year. But I think I'm now starting to like lean more into like edutainment, I guess is what you call it, like educational content that is like packaged as entertainment. And so what I mean by that are these kinds of video essays on topics that I find really fascinating. And so the YouTube algorithm, man, is super strong because the first one it recommended to me was a video from this channel called Modern MBA. It's called How Arcades Are Reinventing Fun. And this was actually crazy timing because recently I had been like low-key spending a lot of money at round one. They just opened a round one like near San Diego, or I guess in San Diego technically. And I had like the past few times I went, probably like dropped like $100 each time. And crazy coincidence, YouTube just recommended this video to me and I watched it and I was like, wow, that is so fascinating. Like not only is it just like fun to watch, but it's like teaching about like the profit margins of running an arcade, and like how much it takes to like scale and stuff like that. It's really interesting stuff, really fascinating. And I think it is still productive because in the back of my mind, I'm saving away these little like bits of data. If, in the future, like, I don't know if I'd ever consider doing a business or something, but it's just really cool to hear these things. And I'll shout out one other video before I keep going to the main point of today. But there's another one that I watched from them that I really liked called The Booming Business of Bubble Tea. That was also super fascinating because it showed these different boba shops that really took different approaches about business. Like some of them were like, we just want to be quick and convenient, and like we're just like a grab and go. Another one's like, we're a cafe and we just want a place for people to like socialize, and a third place for people to hang out. And then the other one was like, we want to serve the best product as possible, we source all the best ingredients and blah blah blah. So it's so interesting, dude. And I think I'm like translating all of that information and thinking of different ways of how to approach music for myself. And that I think is a really valuable learning for me, because it's like there is no one right answer, right? It's like you gotta be intentional about like what your direction is and what your goal is, but there's no one right answer, right? All of those businesses are still doing well and they're still making money. It's just a matter of like, what do you value and like what do you want to place into your art? Or that's how I interpret it in my art. For them, it's their business. But anyways, yeah. So that kind of took me down the whole path of watching these video essays. And man, the YouTube algorithm, once again, is just on point because it recently introduced me to this person named Mina Li. And I only watched one of her videos so far, but I like am so inspired by it that I just decided to record this right now. Like I just literally finished watching it. So yeah, I don't know if I read the title already. The video is called The Death of Personal Style. And for me, I'm not like a huge fashion person or anything, but I will admit, I think I am more interested in like fashion and like wearing nice clothes as opposed to like the average guy maybe, or I don't know, maybe my whole lens of like men are just fucked because low key, I feel like a lot of the my guy friends are just the typical dudes. Like they'll just slap on whatever they have in their closet. They don't care. They'll wear the fucking like Skechers or whatever. They don't like give a shit about their appearance. But me, on the other hand, I'm a little bit of and it's not for like other people or anything. It's just like it makes me feel good. Like when I feel like I'm dressing well, I feel good. And like obviously, like right now, I'm in my fucking like lounge clothes. I'm in my fucking my fucking Suica Penguin t-shirt. But I'm just lounging at home. But anyways, this video, yeah, surprisingly had a lot of gems in it, and I just wanted to talk about the video a little bit. But before, I will say, this is a little silly, but before I get into the video, I will say, Mina Li kind of awakened something in me. Like, she helped me realize something about something. So let me kind of get it out. I made that sound so sus, bro. It's not sus at all, I promise. But anyways, so I think what stood out to me in the first like 5 seconds of the video was, wow, she is amazing at speaking. And I mean that from the most like objective point of view, like her cadence, like her eloquence, like the way that the words she chooses are very articulate. And I was like, wow, like I really want to think about that. I mean, like, I'm not gonna like totally change the way I speak, but it just like stuck out to me so much because I was like, wow, just the simple way that somebody speaks has affected my experience of this video so much. And I was like, holy shit, like that's crazy how big of an impact. Like literally within the first 5 seconds, I heard her voice and the way she spoke, and I was like, she's special. She's special. Like she sounds like she is like qualified to do this, like the way she spoke and her, like I said, her eloquence, and it was just pleasant to listen to. And I don't know, dude, I feel like I have an eye for this sort of thing. I don't know, maybe fucking sue me or whatever, but I feel like whenever I like notice some characteristic like that, it always correlates to like high view count, high subscriber count, like it is mass appeal, or like it has that quality, you know what I mean? Like I feel like I have a similar sense when I listen to music and I'm like, that's gonna go big, like that's gonna blow up, like more often than not, dude. Like I don't know, I feel like I pick up on those things. But I mean, this one's after the fact. Mina Li already has like what 1.62 million subscribers, so I'm like way behind. But it's like I'm able to like pick up on that. It's just really interesting to me, and I hope that translates to my like videos as well. Like that's the thing. Like I don't think like I'm gonna change anything about how I talk or anything like that, but it just gives me confidence that like, wow, I really believe in myself, and I've been talking to the camera very comfortably, I think, since my first video, and I feel like that is something that is gonna translate. I think it's gonna translate to people. They're gonna feel the confidence. They're gonna feel the authenticity, and I want to continue doing that. And yeah, it just really reassured me that like, holy shit, like the way you talk and the way you present yourself verbally is like so important. And it can go so much deeper. That's not the point of this video, but I just thought it was really like amazing, and that really stood out to me. So I wanted to like call it off right off the bat. But anyways, the more funny part to that, when I was getting all goofy and like, oh, she awakened something in me, it kind of made me realize, like, personally, I really value like a good voice on a girl. like you can, I don't know, like I like, okay, look, I'm being a little tongue in cheek here, but like her voice like kind of put me in a trance a little bit. That's so crazy to say. No, but genuinely, like her voice was so pleasant to listen to. I was like, wow, like I'm just focused. I'm so focused on what she's saying. But it's like, I don't know, dude. Maybe this is just me. It's just my preference. But like, I really value like a great voice on a girl. Like, and that's not to say it's like one particular voice. It's just like a good voice. There's all kinds of voices out there. But I was like, damn, like you don't have to be like the most attractive. Like physical attraction obviously is like, it attracts me, but I feel like if you're like average physical attractiveness and you have a good voice, I feel like that knocks them up for me. I'm like, damn, bro, like that shit was hot. I'm not gonna lie. Mina Li, I don't think she's ever gonna watch this, but like, bro, you got an amazing voice, bro. Beautiful voice and beautiful person, obviously. Anyways, yeah, that was just a funny little side comment because I was like, wow, her voice is like beautiful, and I was like, damn, I like voices. I'm a singer. I like audio. I like listening. Anyways, okay, that was enough fun. So into the talking points. So the first point she talked about is the point of wearing a uniform. And so, in schools or whatever, like some schools have uniforms, and, obviously in certain professions you wear a uniform. But I think the thing that really kind of resonated with me was she talked about this experiment. And I don't think this is anything new. I feel like, honestly, I've heard this before. But she mentioned there was this experiment where they had subjects basically pretend to be scientists or whatever. Or no, I don't know if it was pretend. It was like, I think they were actual scientists or something. Like half the scientists wore lab coats, like, the normal like lab coat like attire, like the normal scientist attire or whatever, and then the other half didn't wear it. And apparently the people who wore the lab coats performed better than the people who didn't, which is like not entirely surprising, but it's just kind of like reassuring that like dress for the occasion, and I was like, and I think the thing that really resonated to me that she said was, she was saying for her, like, there would be days when she, like, she works from home, like, full-time, because I don't know what her profession is. I've just discovered her channel. But anyways, she was saying, like, for her, when she works from home, it helps to, like, get out, or, like, get up, get dressed, and then, like, get ready for the day. Because if she just stays in her, like, pajamas all day, she's gonna feel lazy, she doesn't want to, like, do stuff. And I was like, holy shit, I actually vibe with that heavy, because I didn't even realize, like, recently, this is kind of taking a turn away from the video and into my own personal anecdote now, but recently I've noticed that I've been like showering in the morning, or like not showering, but like rinsing off in the morning, rinsing off my face products or whatever. And I'll like change my clothes out of my pajamas. And I've been feeling like good about it. I've been feeling more energy for the day. I don't know. It's totally psychological. It's totally like in my head, but like it works, dude. It really does work. And it's crazy to me because I thought about it and I was like, dude, that's the fucking norm for like most people, you know? Like not everybody is as fortunate as me who gets to work hybrid, where like you're working a couple days in office and you're working a couple days at home. Like that is not normal. And I even thought back of like pre-COVID, I was like, dude, I used to fucking do this every weekday. Like shit, like it's crazy to like remember that, because I don't know, it just at some point along, it's been what, 4 years since COVID, and I just forgot that yeah, we used to fucking do that every fucking day. And yeah, it like doing what I've been doing, which is like waking up in my pajamas and rolling out of bed right to my laptop, is not normal. That's like the weird thing. But anyways, I think it was like really interesting because I feel like I, yeah, do perform better when I like get ready for the day and I'm like changing my clothes. But yeah, and it's really funny to me because I feel like I kind of did the whole thing of like I slipped into the laziness of not changing into like clothes for the day or whatever because I get to work from home. But I feel like doing that for so long kind of spoiled me, and now I'm like reining it back and actually enforcing the structure on myself without it being required. Like I've been forcing myself to like get up every morning, take a quick rinse off in the shower, and then change my clothes out of my pajamas, because I feel like that structure just mentally does something. Like I said, it just makes me feel ready for the day. But it's really funny because I drew a similar comparison to like when I was unemployed for some time. Like at the beginning, it's amazing, feels great. It's like, oh my God, yes, I don't have to work. This is so awesome. I can do whatever I want. Great. And then the freedom kind of like got to me, and it felt like low, like not lost, but like I kind of felt the friction. I felt like the stress. I was like, oh my God, this is so chaotic. And so I had to rein it back, and I ended up enforcing that 9 to 5 structure on myself while I was unemployed, even though I didn't have to. It's so funny to me because it's like, you know, these cycles repeat themselves, or like history repeats itself. And it's like now with the whole, like, I know this is a very different scenario, but like the same idea of like I had all the freedom to like roll out of bed in my pajamas and work in my pajamas, but then doing that spoiled me and kind of put me in a bad mental state, so I had to rein it back and actually enforce my own structure on myself. But I'm really glad that it played out that way, because I'm not having to like force myself to do it. I'm doing it because I want to, which is I think the important thing of like how I'm able to sustain it. Like obviously I could have reached the same conclusion even if it was enforced. I would have gotten used to it. But it's kind of nice that like I've tried it in this like privileged way. Like I had the freedom and then I enacted it upon myself. I think that's very like, I don't know, there's something about that where when you personally decide to take on something, or you decide to do something, it's a lot more powerful, I feel, and it's a lot more like sticky. Like I feel like I can keep this up because it came from me. Like I wanted to do it. Like it wasn't enforced by me by my work or whatever. But anyways, yeah, it was just a really interesting thing. Let me check my notes here and see if I missed anything. Yeah, I think I covered most of it. It just comes from a place that I want to do it rather than having to be forced to. But I will say, so a little last anecdote on the idea of uniforms is I don't fully subscribe to the like entire like uniform. Like the like uniform to my extent is like guardrails with some flexibility. And I think I might have said this in a previous video where it's like structure with flexibility built in, you know? So for me, what that means is like I'll have my basic outfit for work, which is like, you know, like the black jeans, black t-shirt, and a flannel, right? But the thing is, the variety, quote unquote variety there is like, I have different black shirts, right? So I swap them out based on like how I'm feeling that day or whatever. And I have different like flannels. So like I have different colors, like green, dark green, red and gray or whatever. So, you know, there's like flexibility built in, but the guardrails are in place where like the structure's there. It's going to be a black shirt, flannel, and black jeans. But then I have like a little bit of choice within it. And even with my own like loungewear too, I think that's a piece that brings joy to me. and that's the thing, like for me the loungewear aspect is like I don't mind having a little bit of like mental burden to like choose what to wear, because it's actually fun for me, because I pick my loungewear when I'm just at home based off of how I'm feeling, and I'm like, it's like nobody's gonna see it, it's just for me. So like I pick things that when I look in the mirror and I see it, I'm like, oh, that makes me happy. Like this shirt, for example, the Suika Penguin. When I see this shirt, I just remember, oh my gosh, I remember being in Ueno at the fucking Pensta store where they sell Suika Penguin merch, and picking up this shirt and looking at it and going, wow, this is such a cool design. And then asking the cashier, like, is this like women's size? And then she replied with something. I didn't fucking know what she said. I think she said it was basically like unisex, but I didn't really understand her. And I just went along with it anyways. I was like, oh, okay, thanks. And I bought it anyways. But it's just funny, right? Like that's why I appreciate having like the little bit of like flexibility or like personalization within the uniform, right? I think the uniform part of my loungewear fit recently has been, I just bought like a shit ton of like Gymshark like sweatpants and shorts, and so my outfit is always just like black sweatpants, so like the Gymshark sweatpants. And so black sweatpants, and then whatever shirt I'm feeling, or black shorts or whatever, if it's summer. So I don't know. I think that's like my own take on the uniform, especially when I'm at home. But yeah, in general, I think it's a really cool concept, because I think it is a lot less like stressful to think about, like, oh my God, I gotta like put this outfit together or whatever. You just have the recipe already. It's just like, okay, what flavor are you gonna put on it? You have the recipe already. Just put a little different seasoning on it. Anyways, I always relate it back to food. Ooh, I'm a big food person. But anyways, yeah. So that was my interesting takeaway on the uniform part. And again, I'm not gonna lie, I don't think it was any like new information. It's stuff I'd heard before, but it just came at the right time, and she has a beautiful voice. So I really was taken aback by it. But anyways, yeah, so that was the first thing I thought was really cool about it. But actually, it's good that I'm talking about it too, because I think this is the first time I've like documented this thought process. Like I said, these are thoughts that I've had before, and this is like a whole exercise that I've gone through on my own, but I've never like documented it for myself. So it's nice to have it like in video form for once. So yeah, so moving on to the second point. So this didn't really apply to me, but I felt like it was really interesting, and it was like maybe pertinent enough to talk about it, just to like give myself some sort of context about like fashion and like eccentric outfits in general. So I guess Mina Li apparently in the past was known for like her eccentric makeup, and the way she dressed was very eccentric or whatever. I don't know much about it. She showed some pictures and stuff, which it is a drastic difference. I think at this point she wears very like toned down, like more quote unquote basic stuff. So like a black shirt and black skirt or whatever. And her makeup's very like more natural. So her whole thing about that, I'll try to read off the script because I don't want to butcher this, but she said, well, I think this is my paraphrasing or like my understanding of how she explained it. But what I wrote down was, people would put energy into their outfits because it was their only means of creative expression, and they want others to think that they're interesting people. So I thought the creative expression one was really interesting, because I can totally see that. Like, people don't have other outlets to express their creativity in, so they would like put their energy into like crafting a very like interesting outfit, or like, putting energy, even maybe not even interesting or out there, but just, I can totally understand that like people are putting their creative efforts into putting together an outfit. Whether it's eccentric or not, I can totally understand the sentiment that she brought on, because they like, I think she took a quote from like some fashion designer or something, and he's a like fashion designer, and he'll like wear a black t-shirt and black jeans, and he'll just be like, my creativity is, I'll leave my creativity for the business. Like in my own personal life, I don't need to expend that energy. And I was like, wow, that is very interesting, a very interesting take. And I never thought about it that way. Like some people, yeah, don't have an outlet, and so they'll use that energy to work on their outfit or their appearance, I guess. But yeah, it was really cool to me because I never genuinely thought about it that way. I was like, oh yeah, like my creative outlets are like doing things like this, or making music or whatever else, or TikToks or whatever else. So yeah, it was just really cool to hear that, and it kind of opened my eyes a little bit to like some of the thought processes behind why people kind of put so much effort into their look and their appearance. So yeah, it was really, really cool to hear. Really, I just never really thought about it, to be honest. I've never put myself in their shoes, or I've never found myself in their shoes, to be honest. So yeah, so that was kind of interesting. I guess the second part, they want others to think they're interesting people. So she kind of talked about this occurrence where she had been approached by a teacher, and the teacher basically said like, "Hey, Mina, like your outfit, like you need to tone it down." Like he or she basically said like like Mina's outfit was putting up a wall that was affecting their voice. And I like thought that was really interesting because I guess what that said was, or like how I interpreted that was like when you're putting on a certain outfit, you give certain people this impression of yourself. And I think maybe what the teacher was saying was like she's boxing in people's thoughts of her because of the way she dressed. Like it made people think a certain way about her, and it put the wall up, meaning like they had this idea of her and her authentic. I don't know. I don't know how I got to this talking point, but it that's how I kind of interpreted it. It felt like, like your appearance, you don't need to like prove to other people that like you are interesting or whatever through your outfit. Like, I don't know. And actually, I'll just skip down to the last point. So, with all that context, so she said, ask yourself, why do you dress the way you do? It can unveil your values and insecurities. Mina experienced people in the fashion industry ignoring people who didn't present up to their standards, and she doesn't want to have those types of people around her. So, yeah, I thought that was really interesting of like, yeah, like your appearance is, I guess, like a reflection of your values and insecurities. Because like maybe, and again, like I'm not saying this is like what I think, but I think that's how I'm trying to like interpret the example she gave. And again, I'm maybe doing a poor job summarizing her video, but she was saying like the way that she dressed was like to try to make people think she was interesting. She would wear these eccentric outfits with eccentric makeup and whatever else. And it's because she was insecure that people wouldn't find her interesting. So she wanted to like put on the stuff physically that would make her look interesting. And so, yeah, I think that was a really, really kind of profound point that I thought, because for me, I think like I care about my appearance, but it's not for the reasons of other people. Like, when I dress well, when I take care of myself, when I have, when I maintain my, like, what is it? Fucking, I'm losing the word. Physical appearance, I guess. I feel good. And I feel good. And obviously, there's a part of it where it's like, I don't want to look like a slob. I don't want people to think I'm a slob. But, like, for the most part, like, my decisions, my choices have been things like for what I wear are things that I like. And so, I think it comes down to too, like I'm a very secure person, and like honestly, I kind of don't give a fuck what people think. Actually, I really don't give a fuck what people think. But also, so that gives me the confidence to like choose what I want, and I kind of trust in my own taste. I feel like I have good taste because like, okay, not trying to like hype myself up, but like every time I wear something like that I thought was cool, I'll get somebody commenting on it. And I don't know, it's reassurance. Like it's, and it's not saying anything about me like, oh, I'm so great. I think I just have like a good eye for like interesting things or like cool things that other people would like. So anyways, yeah, very interesting point there. And I'll try to wrap it up here, but the last point that I really, really thought was profound and that I really resonated with was this point that I think it's like playing telephone. She quoted somebody, and then I'm quoting her quoting somebody. So I think she like paraphrased this quote from Vincent van Gogh, which she said, "You were always wheat, even if everyone thought you were grass at first." And I was like, "Damn, that is fucking profound." And in other words, like you are interesting or special, even if people don't realize it at first. And this kind of tied back to another video I saw in the past with Gary Vee talking to this girl. So Gary Vee was in a parking lot or something, and this girl saw him like a fan, and she was like, Gary, please, whatever, and like, can I take a picture with you, whatever? And then she's like, mark my words, I'm gonna be someone one day. I'm gonna be someone one day. That's what she said to him. And Gary takes her and he's like, look, you are somebody right now. You are somebody right now. And I was like, wow, that is so fucking true. Like, you are somebody right now, even if the world doesn't know it yet. And honestly, like, I'm not trying to sound arrogant, but I've had this thought about myself for the longest time. Like, I know I'm special. I know that I have something interesting to say. I know I have good taste. I know I'm capable. The world just hasn't seen it yet. Like, I have not been exposed to the world yet. But it's crazy because, like, I don't mean to sound delusional, but like I genuinely believe that. And like it's funny because I also saw Bretman Rock say something similar. Like I remember some interview or something like a long time ago. Like I remember him saying like, "Oh, I know I'm going to be famous one day. Like I know I am." And I was like, "Dude, like I'm not trying to be like egotistical here, but when I heard that I was like, yo, me too." Low key. I was like, me too, actually. Like, because like, and I don't think it's because like, oh, I think I'm hot shit or whatever, or I think I'm so like the best. I think it's just because like I'm very confident in myself, and like I know if I just put the work in to like put myself out there, like it's gonna pop off. Like I just from experiences within my everyday life, like I'm not saying like I'm better than other people, but like some of the things I do, I'm like, oh, that's weird. That's like out of the ordinary. Like normal people don't do that. Like for example, me fucking like making videos like this. Like okay, like you can say like the average person can make a video, but like the thing is like I just feel like I have like a lot of these like traits just come more like natural to me in the sense that like I have a leg up. Not to say that other people can't get to this point, but I feel like the advantage I have over some of the other people or like quote unquote normal people is for me, a lot of this comes naturally and I'm like internally, intrinsically, like organically motivated to do these things. Like sure, anybody with a lot of work can get to the same point as me. I'm not saying I'm so much more like capable or I'm so much more special than they are. No, I think what the difference is between me and them is like for me, I'm intrinsically motivated for some reason. Like I can't explain why. I just feel like I really like want to do these things and I feel like I just know like it'll happen. So I keep going towards I don't know how to describe. I don't know if that makes sense. But you know what I mean? It's like I'm not better. I'm just I was so serious when I was about to say that. I'm literally built different. And I don't, that sounds so dumb. I know it sounds so dumb. But I'm not saying like built different in the sense that I'm better. I'm built different in the sense that my mental programming allows me to do things that other people think are super hard, but I don't think it's hard. Like it's just fun to me. Like it's fun. Like making music, singing, making YouTube videos. This isn't like work for me. Like I just fuck around and I'm like, wow, this is fun. And when you consistently do something over years and years, you get better at it. So that's what I mean by like, I know I'm gonna be famous, or like I don't want to say famous. I know I'm gonna be successful. Like I kind of low key don't want to be famous, to be honest with you, for security reasons and shit like that. But I know I'm gonna like be successful in this creative endeavor because I just have that drive. I just have that motivation to continue doing it. And like I said, dude, like, I don't know if I've ever put this on the record, but like, dude, some of the like the music that I've made that like popped off, those happened in like weird ways. Like I would be like almost in a trance, bro. I'd be fucking working on music or some shit. And I'm like, I would like look down after a session and I'm like, what the fuck just happened? I feel like I got possessed by like some fucking like, I don't know, dude, some spirit or some shit entered my body and was like making me make music and singing all this shit. And I felt like I was in like this weird mental state of like, I was like on autopilot, not autopilot, but like it just came to me. I was like, what the fuck? So that's what I mean, dude. That's what I mean when I say like, I know I'll be successful because shit like that happens. And I don't think that's normal. I don't think any of my friends can say like they feel possessed by some music spirit to like make music, you know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I just naturally like have this in me. I don't know. But anyways, before I fucking say something I'm gonna regret, I'm gonna end it here. That was such a weird turn for the end. I did not expect it to balloon like that. But basically, yeah, just I guess the message to myself is believe in yourself. You are wheat, even if everybody thinks you're grass. You are something special, even if people don't see it yet. So anyways, what a fucking weird end. I'm built different. What a fucking weird way to say that. Okay, anyways, I'm gonna end it now. Okay, goodbye, future me. Hope you enjoyed.